Ladies and gentlemen, success is not something we chase, it is something we magnetize. The world is not moved by effort alone, it is moved by consciousness, by belief, and by the unseen power that responds to the words we speak and the thoughts we hold. Life is a mirror, forever reflecting back to us what we secretly believe to be true. Everything begins in the invisible before it becomes visible. The seeds of success are not planted in the soil, but in the mind. What you inwardly decree, you outwardly attract. What you fear, you invite. What you affirm, you claim. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the architect of circumstance. The law of attraction is not a theory. It is a universal law, operating with mathematical precision. Like attracts like. Thoughts are magnets, words are commands, emotions are fuel. The moment your inner world aligns with what you desire, the outer world rearranges itself to deliver it. If you want to attract success, you must first become success in thought. You do not wait until the evidence appears. You speak the evidence into existence. Declare that doors open, that opportunities unfold, that what belongs to you cannot be lost, delayed, or denied. The universe has no resistance to the one who has no resistance within. Never speak defeat, for your words are orders to the unseen forces that obey your voice. Say only what you wish to bring into form. The tongue is a wand, and every word casts a spell. Use it to bless, never to curse your own path. Speak success, expect success, and success begins to move toward you like iron filings to a magnet. Do not chase what you want. Claim it. Do not beg the universe. Command with faith. The one who is confident that the good is already theirs walks differently, speaks differently, thinks differently. Their energy announces the victory before the battle even begins. When fear speaks, answer with truth. When doubt rises, replace it with affirmation. Every time you choose faith over fear, you shift timelines. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, you multiply your blessings. Every time you choose vision over evidence, you rewrite your destiny. You are not waiting for success. Success is waiting for you, waiting for the moment you realize you are already equipped, already worthy, already aligned. The universe does not give based on effort, it gives based on belief. Your word is your wand, your mind is the mold, your faith is the force, and your success is already prepared, waiting for you to declare it so. The first truth in mastering the law of attraction is understanding that your thoughts and words are not passive forces, they are magnets that shape and direct your entire reality. Every thought you think sends out an energetic vibration, and every word you speak is a command to the unseen realm. Nothing in your life is happening by accident. Everything is responding to the frequency you continuously broadcast. When you think of success, abundance, confidence, and prosperity, you begin to draw those very things into your experience. When you speak with authority, faith, certainty, and expectation, the universe responds as a faithful servant, delivering what you have declared. But when you speak of limitation, fear, lack, or failure, the same law operates, because the law does not judge, it only reflects. The mind is a magnet, and the mouth is the switch that activates the magnet's power. Many people do not fail because life refuses to give them what they want, but because they unknowingly keep affirming the opposite of what they desire. They wake up saying they are tired, and so tiredness multiplies. They speak of debts, and debts expand. They expect difficulties, and difficulties find them. Every complaint strengthens the very thing a person wishes would disappear. The universe echoes back whatever is spoken with emotion, whether positive or negative. A person who says, "Nothing ever works for me," is not describing reality, they are creating it. Their words become seeds, and those seeds grow into circumstances. Words do not just describe a life, they form one. Attracting success begins with disciplining the inner dialogue. The mind likes to wander into old patterns, old fears, borrowed beliefs, and programmed limitations. But the moment you become aware of a negative thought, You have the power to replace it with a thought that aligns with the life you desire. If a thought says, "Success is difficult," replace it with, "Success flows to me with ease." If a thought says, "I never get opportunities," replace it with, "Opportunities are always finding me." These are not empty phrases, they are vibrational instructions. Thoughts repeated become beliefs, beliefs become identity, identity becomes destiny. What you constantly think about, you invite. What you constantly speak about, you prepare room for. The person who talks about success even before they see it is not being unrealistic, they are aligning with a higher truth. The physical world is slow to display what the mental world has already accepted, but it always catches up in time. When you speak success, you are not forcing anything. You are tuning into the version of you that already has what you desire. The law is simple but powerful. Every word spoken with conviction is a request signed with energy, and the universe always fulfills the request in its proper season. To attract success, you must speak as if success is already present. Think as if the path is already cleared, and act as if what you desire is already yours. Confidence is not arrogance, it is alignment. When you speak with certainty, you show the universe that you are no longer asking, you are receiving. The person who waits for proof before believing is using the law backward. Belief creates proof, not the other way around. You cannot speak in the language of lack and expect the results of abundance. You cannot think thoughts of fear and expect results of courage. Every result you experience is a reflection of a mental atmosphere you have been nurturing, consciously or unconsciously. Thoughts mixed with feeling create the strongest attraction. Thinking about success is powerful, but thinking about success while feeling the emotion of already having it is magnetic on a higher level. When the mind and the emotion agree, manifestation accelerates. That is why gratitude is such a powerful force. It allows you to feel the joy of having something before it arrives, and that feeling becomes a signal to draw more of it. If you want success, feel successful now. If you want recognition, recognize your own worth now. If you want wealth, speak wealth now. Thoughts are the blueprint. Words are the declaration. Emotion is the amplifier. Your inner dialogue is either building or blocking your future. Most people are unaware of how often they sabotage themselves with their own speech. They say, "I hope," instead of "I know." They say, "I want," instead of "I have." They say, "one day," instead of "now." The law does not respond to hesitation, it responds to conviction. The clearer the thought, the stronger the attraction. The stronger the belief, the faster the manifestation. Life does not give you what you times wish times 4. It gives you what you times expect, asterisk. You cannot attract success while secretly believing that others are luckier, more gifted, or more deserving. Every jealous thought, every doubtful word, every self-deprecating joke weakens your magnet. You must speak only what you want to multiply. Even if reality temporarily contradicts your words, your spoken truth will eventually overwrite it. The unseen is always working before the seen reveals it. The gardener does not doubt the seed just because the soil looks empty. They know growth is happening in silence. Thought is the cause, experience is the effect, word is the bridge between the two. If your life is not reflecting what you desire, do not fight the world, change the mental image you are holding. Create a new picture in the mind and speak it aloud until it becomes more real than the present situation. The world reorganizes itself around the person who has reordered their inner world. No force outside you can override the law that responds to your thoughts and speech. No circumstance is stronger than a made-up mind. No delay can stop a declared destiny. The most powerful shift occurs when your thoughts, words, and feelings no longer contradict one another. When you think success, speak success, feel success, and expect success, success comes as naturally as air flows to the lungs. The law cannot deny alignment. It can only mirror it. Success does not begin with achievement, recognition, or evidence. It begins within, in the unseen realm of thought, belief, and inner conviction. Everything that comes into the physical world first existed in the invisible world of imagination and intention. The person who succeeds is not the one who works the hardest, but the one who inwardly accepts success as natural, as rightful, and as inevitable. Outer conditions are only the shadows of inner states. You do not deal with the shadow to change the shape, you change the object that casts it. In the same way, you do not fight circumstances, you transform consciousness, and circumstances rearrange themselves accordingly. What you hold in the mind long enough becomes a pattern, and what becomes a pattern becomes a life. Most people attempt to build success backwards. They wait for the world to give them a reason to feel worthy. They wait for results before they believe. They wait for proof before they act with confidence. But the law does not respond to waiting, it responds to being. When you become success inwardly, success begins to gravitate toward you outwardly. The shift is subtle but powerful. You move from I hope to I know, from maybe to of course, from wishing to receiving. When you walk as if the door is already open, it opens. When you speak as if the opportunity is already aligned, it aligns. When you think as if the victory is already yours, life begins to arrange itself to match the vibration of that belief. Inner success is not positive thinking alone. It is the deep acceptance that nothing outside you has the power to determine your destiny unless you allow it. Many fail not because they lack talent, but because they inwardly carry a sense of unworthiness, fear, or doubt. They work hard but carry the energy of lack. They chase success but vibrate with insecurity. They want more but imagine less. The subconscious mind does not respond to effort, it responds to the picture held in imagination. You cannot attract what you do not inwardly believe you are allowed to have. When the inner world says yes, the outer world eventually has no choice but to follow. The individual who lives in alignment with success does not wait to feel successful. They practice the state of success. They rehearse it mentally. They speak it emotionally. They embody it in posture, tone, decisions, self-respect, and expectation. They do not say, I will succeed someday. They say, success is already moving toward me, and they act accordingly. The mind is the soil, and belief is the seed, and the harvest is simply a matter of time. What is planted inwardly must surface outwardly. There is no other way the law can operate. Success begins in the imagination long before it arrives in the bank account, relationship, career, or recognition. The imagination is not fantasy, it is preview. Life will deliver only what you have accepted mentally as possible, permissible, and already in motion. If you imagine disaster, disaster begins forming. If you imagine advancement, advancement begins aligning. The invisible world is always ahead of the visible one. The inner world is the script, and the outer world is the stage. Whatever role you assign to yourself with your consistent thought is eventually the reality you step into. That is why inner conversations are destiny builders. You may be silent on the outside, but what you repeatedly say to yourself writes your future. If internally you say, I don't have what it takes, no achievement will feel secure even if it arrives. If you say, I am capable, I am guided, I am empowered, even challenges will feel like stepping stones. The universe reflects subconscious identity, not surface desire. What you think times about times success is not as powerful as what you think times as times a successful person. When you stop trying to get success and begin to times be times success in thought and energy, resistance dissolves. Most people are unaware that the energy they carry speaks before their words do. A person who feels inferior will attract situations that prove them right. A person who feels deserving will attract circumstances that validate that sense of worth. Life does not bring you what you plead for, but what you prepare for. And preparation is not outer, it is inner. When you are aligned inwardly, you stop chasing and start drawing things toward you. You stop fighting for a place and start occupying it mentally first. The person who sees themselves as chosen is chosen. The person who sees themselves as overlooked is overlooked. Everything starts with identity, and identity is shaped by repeated thought. There is a difference between wanting success and being ready for success. Wanting is passive, readiness is magnetic. Wanting says, I hope it happens someday. Readiness says, I am already becoming the version of me who receives it. Success is not attracted to confusion, doubt, desperation, or uncertainty. It is attracted to clarity, intention, purpose, and inner certainty. The moment you decide who you are and what you allow, the universe stops hesitating. It mirrors the clarity of your decision. Inner success also means removing the internal blocks that contradict your desire. If you want abundance but believe wealth is selfish, you repel it. If you want recognition but fear attention, you delay it. If you want love but believe you are unlovable, you sabotage it. The outer world is not the enemy your unexamined beliefs are. But once the inner conflict is dissolved, success flows not as a struggle but as a response. The universe is generous, but it will not override the boundaries you set in your subconscious mind. The law gives you not what you beg for, but what you align with. Inner success is emotional readiness. You do not say, I will feel happy when I succeed. You decide, I feel successful now, and that emotion becomes the magnet. Emotion is energy in motion. It is the broadcast signal. Successful people feel successful before the world confirms it, not after. That feeling, held long enough, becomes a reality you walk into. Life bends itself to those who have already claimed the kara. State inwardly. Sooner or later, the outer world must match the inner world. That is not wishful thinking. It is the law. Faith and expectation are not just attitudes. They are forces that activate the flow of opportunities, resources, relationships, and circumstances that lead to success. Faith is not hoping something will happen one day, and expectation is not passive wishing. Faith is the inner knowing that what you desire already exists in the unseen, and expectation is the emotional readiness to receive it. When these two work together, they open doors that logic cannot explain. They attract answers that effort alone could not create, and they move life in your favor long before the physical evidence appears. The universe does not respond to need, struggle, or desperation. It responds to certainty. Faith is the signal. Expectation is the magnet. Together, they pull your future into your present. Most people block the very opportunities they pray for because they do not truly expect them. They speak of what they want, but inwardly doubt whether it will come. They hope for success, but prepare for disappointment. They ask for abundance, but brace themselves for lack. These mixed signals create delay, confusion, and stagnation. The universe cannot deliver what the mind is not ready to receive. If your words say yes, but your energy says maybe, the result becomes postponed. But when your belief is unwavering, when your expectation is firm, when you speak and feel as if the outcome is guaranteed, everything begins to accelerate. Opportunities that never existed before appear. People who never noticed you suddenly recognize you. Chances you once missed begin to return in higher forms. Expectation is a silent invitation. Whatever you expect, you attract. If you expect rejection, you walk into rooms already defeated. If you expect success, you walk through the same doors with a different aura, and that aura commands a different outcome. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you believe is on its way. Even before anything happens, the person of expectation is already prepared. They think as if the blessing has already arrived. They act as if the path is already cleared. They speak as if the victory is already written. That alignment causes the universe to respond because it sees no hesitation to work against. Faith is not blind. It sees what the physical eye cannot. It is the ability to trust the process even when the evidence is not yet visible. The moment you believe, something invisible starts moving. The moment you doubt, the movement slows. The moment you expect again, it continues. You are never waiting on life. Life is waiting on your certainty. When you declare what is yours without fear, the law begins rearranging events, timing, and people. Faith does not beg, faith claims. Expectation does not stress, expectation receives. Success does not come to the one who is merely prepared in skill, but to the one who is prepared in spirit. There are many talented people who cannot succeed because they carry the energy of doubt, hesitation, and fear. And there are people with fewer resources who rise quickly because their inner atmosphere is charged with unquestionable belief. The world responds not to the strongest, but to the surest. People follow confidence. Circumstances bend to certainty. Opportunities open to those who already expect them to. Expectation turns the invisible into the inevitable. It is not enough to work, plan, or visualize. You must mentally and emotionally expect the result. There is a difference between saying, "I will try," and saying, "It is already mine." The first leaves room for failure. The second leaves no space for anything but manifestation. The universe cannot deny the one who believes without wavering. Faith removes delay because it removes resistance. Expectation removes struggle because it removes doubt. Many people wonder why nothing changes, even though they speak affirmations or set goals. It is because they speak with their mouth, but expect with their fear. They hope for success, but secretly anticipate the same pattern of disappointment. The law does not answer the spoken wish. It answers the dominant vibration. If the vibration is doubt, the answer is delay. If the vibration is belief, the answer is momentum. What you expect is like a scheduled appointment with your future, and life will always deliver on a booking made with certainty. Expectation also creates alignment with timing. What belongs to you is never late, but you can be late in believing it. The moment you shift into expectation, you step into the timeline where the result already exists. Everything that seemed far suddenly feels near. Everything that looked difficult suddenly becomes simple. Faith collapses the distance between desire and reality because it stops pushing the blessing into tomorrow. When you believe it is coming someday, it stays there. When you believe it is coming now, it begins moving now. Faith does not ignore reality, it transcends it. It is not denial of facts, it is acknowledgement of higher laws. Facts say you have no opportunity. Faith says the right opportunity is already forming. Facts say progress is slow. Faith says things can shift in a moment. Facts say the odds are against you. Faith says the law works beyond odds. Expectation turns facts into stepping stones instead of barriers. It does not matter what has happened before. The law is not limited by history. It responds only to belief in the present. Nothing is withheld from the one who expects, not because they are lucky, but because they are aligned. The moment you expect good, you are no longer chasing, you are attracting. You stop wondering how things will work out, and you start trusting that they already are. You stop feeling unworthy, and you start living as one who has already received. That shift alone creates the energy that opens doors. There is no resistance in expectation, only readiness. Faith is the inner yes. Expectation is the outer signal. Together, they declare to the universe, "I am ready." And when you are ready, life responds without hesitation.